What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another live stream. If you're new to the channel, could you please like, share, subscribe, and feel free to leave your thoughts down in the comment section. I want to know what y'all think about the topic, which is narcissists use fear to control you. Turn this down a little bit. So, yeah, I want to talk about how narcissists use fear to control you, and there are four ways they do so. And a lot of time you may look at it as, oh, well, that's just who they are. I'm used to it. And you just automatically adjust to the behavior, which is something you should not ever feel like you have to do because it is abuse. And there's no way to clean it up and make it acceptable to the point where you just got to deal with it. No one should have to deal with abuse. Narcissists will abuse their position in leadership, as an authority figure, as anything that makes them feel superior to you. If they have the power to do so, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. But there are four ways that narcissists use fear to control you. The first one is they like to make it clear to you what they expect out of you and what they want from you. But the way they express the way they want certain things from you, they don't tell it to you in a threatening way. They tell it to you, they give it to you pretty gentle. They let you know that, they kind of play on your emotions and get you thinking, make you feel sorry for them so that now they pretty much know that they can count on you, they can depend on you to come through for them in some way. They know that you were their listening ear, you were their shoulder to cry on, you're the one who they can come to now with their problems. And a lot of times they get so comfortable with that because you're always welcoming them with open arms without, any boundaries. And so they feel entitled to that, to the point where there's no cutoff. And so once they get you to a place of like just pretty much supplying their needs and just always being there for them, they don't see it any other way. So they make it clear what they want from you, and then you pretty much give them everything they want. They're spoiled and they're entitled. And so that's one way that they kind of put fear in you, because the moment you can't, you may start to think about how they're going to react to the disappointment of knowing that I can't do it for you this time, because you're not going to really know what to expect from them because you're not used to telling them no. And you may look at it as I'm letting them down because now you have trained yourself to be the person who have to always make sure you come through for them. And that's no way to be. You'll never have peace behind that. And a narcissist will make sure there's no peace with knowing that, oh, you don't have to worry about doing it. They're, they may pretend like, oh, it's cool. Trust me, it's cool. Best believe they're thinking of a way to get you back because you let them down. And you've come through for them 1,000 times, but that one time you couldn't deliver is the only thing they're going to make you remember. They ain't going to let you forget. It's the only thing they're going to remember. For a long time, they're going to throw that in your face. And that is how they get you to kind of work harder and do more to constantly keep them in a place of just being, satisfied. And that's just not your job. It's not your job to keep them satisfied. But they're going to make you feel like that. And the second thing that they do to kind of put fear in you is to make threats. They make indirect threats to you, and they do this as a way to punish you or make you feel like that there will be consequences if you don't do something for them. So they get very bossy. They're bold enough to pretty much threaten you in a way that's just not straight up, but at the same time, you read between the lines based off their tone, and you already know what's happening. They pretty much letting you know, they're gonna be held to pay if you don't do as I tell you to do, as I expect you to do, like you've been doing. Like, don't mess this up. And narcissists, they use your self esteem, they use your insecurity as a way to make you feel like you should be punished for the one time you didn't come through for them. So that's another way that they put fear into you. See, that's a powerful tool they use to keep you in place. And it's worked for them for so long with certain people because people have been so afraid to kind of stand up to them and let them know that I'm tired of doing this. Like, I'm not getting nothing in return. You're draining me. It's getting to the point where I just feel like it's all about you. But until you realize what's going on and speak up for yourself, they just gonna keep doing it. So the third way that they put fear in you to control you is they don't reply to you. And by doing that, it puts, you know, worry. It puts worry, it makes you worry, and it makes you fear them. You know, that's what they want to do. They want to make you scared. They want to keep you thinking. They want to keep you off focus, to keep your mind set straight on them and what might happen. What are they thinking? You might try to be, you might try to have that attitude like, man, I don't care. Let her get mad. I do. Sometimes you get that little wake up call for a minute and you have to remind yourself, wait a minute. I've been too good to this person. I've done everything they ask, you know, of me. And I've just done so much. And I can't think of a time where I didn't have to ask them for anything or they didn't have so many excuses why they couldn't do it anyway, you know. But you were always there for them. You were always there. And you did everything you could to please them. And they don't have the respect of acknowledging that to the point where, understanding comes into play and they can say, you know what, you've been doing so much for me and I just haven't really shown you appreciation. You could forget about that if you expect a narcissist to do that. And they'll do it only when they're reaching for more. If they know they could get a little bit more out of you, that's when they're going to play that game of gratitude. They don't care about what nobody do for them. That's just another tactic just so they could gain more supply. So also, that's what they do. They don't reply. They give you the silent treatment as a form of punishment to keep you wondering what's going on, why they're not answering me. Again, to keep you off focus, to have you blowing their phone up, texting them. You can't even focus at work. You going on a break 5, 6, 7 times during the day. You've been on a break more than you've been on the clock working because you're worried about what they're thinking and why they're not replying to you. And that's the whole purpose of the silent treatment. That's the purpose of them not replying because they know you're going to react that way. They know what you're thinking. They know you're pacing around. They know you keep going in the restroom with an upset stomach because you're worried now and you don't know what to think. You don't know, and you're also thinking, what have I done wrong and what can I do to fix it? That's exactly how they want you to feel. That's one of their most used tactics on people when they can't have their way. And mind you, they've always had their way with you again. But that one time you didn't come through. oh, it's gonna be trouble. And so the last thing, number four, the fourth reason why narcissists have to use fear to control you is because they expect you to beg for communication, and they also want you to show regret. But mind you, you're begging them, like, what did I do? And that's their way of, you know, kind of pulling more out of you. They they kind of move the goalposts, and now they make it to where they need you to think about what you can do better, even though there's nothing else that you should have to do for them. You've done too much already. So those are the type of mind games they play with a person to keep them in control. They use fear to control you. And that's just, something to think about, because that's how they operate. And not saying that everyone who uses those tactics are narcissists, but it is a well-known narcissistic tactic. So it's pretty much like, oh, it's the same thing. Like, that's very narcissistic of you to try to, you know, play the guilt trip on me because you can't have your way. Like, you really trying to make me feel bad for the one time I couldn't give you what you want. And it doesn't matter what you do for the narcissist. Trust and believe it ain't gonna never be enough, because they're very ungrateful. Very ungrateful. Hey, Sharon. Yeah, they don't care. It's all about what they want and how it makes them feel, and the moment that you can't do something. Because I remember a time when I had to ask for my money back from a person who had borrowed money. And then she got angry. But she got angry by making me think, well, I'm still having a hard time and I really can't pay you back right now. As a matter of fact, she tried to borrow on top of that. I told her I couldn't do it because I had already waited long enough, and she broke the promise twice. So this would have been the third time that she didn't pay me back. On top of that, she wanted to borrow more money. I told her I couldn't do it and I needed the money back. I wouldn't have asked for it back because I didn't ask for it the other two times, but I asked because I really needed it. And I shouldn't have had to explain that to her, but that's how she wanted me to feel, like I was wrong for expecting something back that I had every right to. Like, I shouldn't even have to ask for it. But I said that to say the narcissist, she started a smear campaign with another person by borrowing money from her, playing a victim, you know, and selling her this sad story and making it seem like, she twisted it up and lied and made things up to tell the person that she I had just like they just lie to just make it seem like everyone else is doing them wrong. And what made me so angry and upset with that person is that we were friends and known each other way longer than we knew each other. But you were able, she sucked her in and believed lies that she was begging me for the money and she had done so much for me. And I told her no. And I was just so mad because it's like, why are you lying on, that just went to a whole nother level with me, because those are the type of games they play. And when people feed into their fake sympathy plea, it's just like they don't fact check. And then it paints a picture of you being like a bad person. People don't think about that. They just go on what they hear, and then they just start judging you based off that, and they don't even know the facts. So narcissists, they really cause a lot of damage, and they really ruin a lot of relationships, which is it's their fault, but at the same time, the person have to take accountability as well because they don't ever question, their accountability. They don't ever question them to see like, okay, so what made them just treat you like that when they've never known you to be that way? Like, that should have been the first thing to come to mind because we've known each other for so long. But that's just something I wanted to point out real quick that I went through that. And I know they play all type of games and you never know what they saying behind your back as a form of punishment because they need other people to see you as a horrible person because they can't stand on that alone. They need people along right along with them to bring you down, you know. And they don't really have a conscience. If they did, they would feel guilty about it. So they just kind of, they just turn a blind eye to their conscience. They just pretend like I don't hear these voices in my head. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm gonna tune it out. I'm gonna do everything I can to block out the fact that I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I don't care because I'm so in my feelings about something. I can't get past that until I do this certain thing to the person, and then I feel better. Like that's how they think, you know, and that's how they operate. So you don't can't really expect too much different out of them. You can't expect them to be any better than that. That's just something to think about and to question other people's like their interaction with you after you notice a change with the narcissist and the people who they're around. Just start paying attention to how other people act. They putting something in their ear to make them move different and act funny with you. And not that it matter because if they act like that, then you don't need them around either, you know. But we don't be thinking like that when it's actually happening to us. We're confused, you know, we're frustrated, we feel under attack, and it don't feel good, it hurts. You feel like you're being punished for nothing. So it's not like a person is gonna like as soon as that starts to happen, it's not like you're gonna question it right then and there because you might not even be aware of what's going on. It takes awareness to figure out how the narcissists operate in order to just kind of like, oh, okay, I got you now. And they never see that day coming, but when it does, they can't handle it. They cannot handle when you don't care anymore, when you don't respond anymore, when those things don't get to you anymore. And when you have set the boundaries, setting the boundaries even mean tuning them out because you're not going to respond to that. You see it and you don't see it. And they hate that. They hate when you're stronger than they want you to be. They really need to keep you in a place to where they could control your mind. And that's why they use fear as a way to control you. And it all starts in the beginning, you know, with the sympathy act. And I just need so much help with this. And, so many people let me down and everybody just cheated on them. The relationship with the narcissist always ends with another person cheated on them. You got to question everything with a narcissist. And you always turn the story around. Trust and believe. When you turn the story around, you're going to see who they are. They are, they play the biggest victims in the whole world. They have nothing but victims out there. It's like they live a double life. And it's like they're always running. Always running. They just can easily just bury the past, put it behind them like it didn't exist. That's how they operate. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I just wanted to talk about how narcissists use fear to control you. I'm not gonna be too long because I got some other stuff to upload. that I'm about to get straight to in a minute. So I want to thank y'all for watching. Hey, don't belong here. You say what narcs do best is triangulate and turn others against the target. Yep. And they try to get ahead of you by doing so. Because especially if you're reserved, if you're to yourself and they have already isolated you. You're welcome, Sharon. Thank you for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. If they've already isolated you, it's easier for them, to create that false narrative amongst a lot of people. It sticks better because first of all, they've already told them not to say nothing in my defense. Oh, I'm okay. No, don't worry about it. I'm okay. I'm just gonna let it go. Like, you did all this because you can't let it go. And your whole plan was to destroy me. You wanted to get as many people as you can to help you do that because you're weak. They're very weak. That's why they operate like that. They can't really work alone for too long because of the voices in their head. It'll drive them crazy. It'll take them off focus the way they took you off focus and had you wondering, what was I doing? What did I do? That's just what they want to get out of you. But anyway, I spoke on that already, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, y'all. Again, thank y'all for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Please like the video. And I will see y'all in the next one.